Homestead. How the heck are you today? Yeah, I know, folks. Past couple of weeks have been a little nuts for me, and didn't get many videos up. Next week you're gonna see a lot of them flying at you, but I want to get this one up this week because what I want to talk to you a little bit about is I have a lot of people who talk about, I'd like to start a homestead, but I don't have a lot of credit and I don't have a lot of money. So I'm going to toss you out a few ideas here. Getting land, it doesn't require a lot of money or a lot of credit. Okay, there are now are you gonna pay a little higher interest rate? Of course you are. Okay, one company I'm going to talk to you about is out of the Springfield, Missouri area. I think their name is Instant Acres, and I've talked with that folks down there just a little bit, and they've got some fairly decent parcels, and they change all the time because of their financing. They don't keep property around long. Okay, so but here's the way their system works. You can put they're really nice properties, the 20 acres or the waterfront property, stuff of this nature. They expect you to at least put $1,500 down. For some folks, that'd be a challenge. Okay. But they have a lot of 10-acre parcels, 8-acre parcels, all different assorted sizes that you can get with as little as $500 down. $500. So don't spend your tax return this year. Okay. Hang on to it. And you may need to put a little bit with it. Now, they have a neat program, which I think is kind of cool. They their max end down payment is, I think, in a neighborhood of $2,500, which gets your interest rate down fairly reasonable, and lowers your payment. But the thing of it is, you can start off with the $500 down payment, and you have a year to build that down payment up if you want. You don't have to, but you can, which is going to lower your interest rate and is going to lower your monthly payment. And they got some decent parcels. Okay, they do have some decent parcels. Even a few, I've seen them out there where they got old dilapidated barns or stuff of this nature. So yeah, I mean, there's, some have wells, some don't have wells. It's they've got a little bit of everything. Good folks to try to work with. Okay. Now you're like, I can't afford my rent and make a payment on property. Okay, let's look at it this way. There are a lot of used RVs and trailers and things of this nature out there that you can pick up. This year's going to be a little tough because with this pandemic, I'll tell you what's been going on and you'll understand. But during this pandemic, a lot of people have been selling their houses because they can't afford the payments and they know that the bank's going to come for it eventually. So they're going ahead and selling it while there's still a market. They're buying an RV and a small piece of land, or some are just traveling all over the country and living in their trailers. Most of them have to have some way of remotely making an income, so it doesn't work for everybody. But yeah, it's not a bad idea. Go travel the country, and if you can do remote work. And one lady I'd seen, she had a whole list of jobs from proofreading to, sending out emails for companies, things of this nature, which she could do from her RV. She had it set up with the Wi-Fi and so forth, and make money. It paid her gas and her expenses. So there's ways to do this. All right. There's a whole big community out there of what they call full-time RVers. They live in their RVs. Whole families. Mom, dad, kids. Yeah. So it's kind of interesting. But if nothing else, pick up a cheap RV. Now, it's not going to be like living in Taj Mahal, but you want something that at least has a heater and an air conditioner and running water. You pick yourself up for another, you look around for a used one. You can get a used generator for $250, $300 that is your power. If there's no power available on the property, you just plug your RV into the generator, you set. Then you can start building your homestead. You're on the land, you can start getting your gardens in, you can start planning and picking out that nice spot that you're either going to put a bigger RV on or build a house or something of this nature. But your initial cost is fairly low. You're not going to have a bunch of credit. Matter of fact, I know that the Instant Acres, they don't even run a credit check on you. No, don't make your payments. They're going to come out there and tell you got to go now. So make sure when you're looking at this, it's the payment you can afford. And a lot of them are fairly low. You're not going to go out and buy a 50-acre spread and get a $200 a month payment. Okay, that's not going to happen. But they do have a lot of places that have that low payment. It might be a 5-acre tract or something of that nature. And I have done some looking around, and you will find groups like this all over the country: Arizona, Texas, Nevada. Not a lot in Colorado, but I did run across one. Wyoming, Montana. There's a lot of companies out there that this is what they're doing. Okay, and they'll go out and buy 1,000 acres and subdivide it, put in roads and things of this nature, and sell them on a contract. They make a decent return on their investment. I think on average you can figure, their interest rates run from a little over 5% up to 7, could go 7 or 8%, depending on how big of a purchase you're making. So there you go. Buy a small trailer, pay cash for it, or finance it, but you'll find it getting a RV financed, it can't be usually any older than about 15 years old. But you can find some places that might give you, if you got your car paid off or something of that nature. And I ran across several nice trailers, seriously decent trailers, in the less than $2,000 bracket. Yeah, they could stand some paint. Carpet's a little worn, okay, but it's something you can fix up for just a few bucks and live comfortably. So when you're looking at getting out on the land, and right now this is something that I can't overstress to you. Getting out on the land is going to be very important to you. Food could become issues here in the near future. My advice to you is if you do something like this, don't immediately get out on YouTube and start telling everybody this nice little piece of land you picked up, 10 miles from, Podunk, Arkansas. Just say I bought something in the Ozarks. Okay. Kind of keep it a little bit on the QT, because social media is no longer about the social. You might as well say they're a propaganda wing, really, for the. I don't even know if you call them a propaganda wing. It's almost a monitoring wing for the federal government. They're very much in cahoots with them, and they're very much in bed with them. Okay, the less you say, the better. All right? You don't want to end up in somebody's file. Okay. We are living in interesting times. But there you go, folks. There is a way that if you really, if you're talking about moving into a small trailer, look around your house. Probably got a lot you're going to have to sell. Get it sold. Okay? Start getting minimized. Cut it back, cut it down. Get ready to make the move. Okay? Even like TVs and things of that nature. Maybe you should have a decent computer and a decent sized monitor where you can, watch free movies on YouTube or get a Netflix thing or whatever you'd want to do there. I wouldn't do Netflix. I'm kind of ticked at those people with that stupid stuff they were running. There's a lot you can do. Okay. If you have some questions or things like that, feel free to put them down in the comments. If you have ideas of ways that you've bought property without credit and without a lot of cash, put them in the comments too. Somebody could probably appreciate the information. But let's do this. Quit talking about it, okay? You got to quit talking about it and start planning for it. And the first way you start planning for it is say, okay, let me start taking the steps. Now, getting out there, get your homestead started, very, very important to you. And it's going to be valuable to your family in the very near future. Get it all paid off, get your house built on it, you'll live good. Okay. Found a few of them. Ran across the one down in southern Missouri. Man, it had this old stone barn, and I'm a big one for old barns. I really am. And I looked at that thing and thought, wow, I'd like to have that just for the barn. Yeah, couldn't afford it, but yeah, it was cool. It was really cool. A lot of them have springs on them, creeks, some back up to rivers, small fishing rivers. My advice to you is, if you're looking at something like that, because you're probably not going to have a well initially. Now, I have run across some out there that have wells, which already have electric ran to it. All you got to do is get the power turned back on. So they're out there. But there is a lot of them. When you get into the Ozarks and stuff of this nature, you're going to find a lot of springs and a lot of spring-fed creeks. Well, push comes to shove, a good Berkey filter or something like that. Matter of fact, you might check with Danny down at Deep South Homestead. I understand that filtering system, and I don't recall what the name of it is, that him and Wanda picked up, has worked real well for them. And I think it's a little cheaper than a Berkey. You can filter spring water. You can get by without filtering it, but I'd filter it anyway. Okay? And have good, clean cooking and drinking water. And then you can just use the regular spring and creek water put it in your fresh water tanks on your little RV and use it for taking your showers and stuff. Ways to do it, folks. Any questions? Throw them in the comment section. Please do like this video and subscribe. Okay? YouTube's making this tougher and tougher. Really are. Anyway, I love you guys. Appreciate you. Don't want this to go long. I'm going to try to get caught up on some of these videos. Well, next week you'll get sick of seeing me. All right? God bless you folks, and you have a great day. Talk to you real soon.